with a talent missing and more. This is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, don't forget to press that like button and make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on. Known for his role as Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2, Roger Clark was in the ring for FSCW and ended up hitting a stunner.
Oh no, he got the bone cream!
That's for bones, not for people, Skeletor. What are you doing?
Oh, in the eyes!
Man. No, this guy is not getting away with this.
Oh, blinding him with the bone cream. Oh, here comes Roger Clark. Oh! No! A huge,
Stunner!
perfectly executed stunner. He got all of it. Roger Clark waking up the ref. 1, 2, 3.
Talking about his time acting, Stone Cold Steve Austin gave praise to an actor telling too much access. I always tell people that's the nicest guy I ever met in Hollywood. I didn't do Hollywood. I lived in Marina del Rey in the Venice area, so I didn't go to parties. I didn't go to the Hollywood Hills. I didn't do none of that It wasn't my scene. I was an athlete. Those actors are a little different. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean they're different than an athlete. They're wired different, or I'm wired differently than they are. Adam Sandler was the funniest, nicest guy I've ever worked with, and I've enjoyed each time I've gotten to work with him. He's a super guy, a sweetheart. Reviewing the match where Jey Uso defeated Braun Breaker to become the Intercontinental Champion on Raw last week, Jim Cornette said this on his drive-through podcast. I've got a lot of least favorites in AEW, but I'm now officially declaring Jey Uso is my least favorite top guy gimmick in wrestling. It's all over, but I hate it. I hate Yeet. I hate that Ringling Brothers outfit he's wearing with Yeet on his arms and flower petals on his legs and fluorescent blue all over. I hate his work, which has gone to hell because of his hot doggery, which is not only over the top, but also it seems to me to be hard to work with because the timing of his hot doggery is just a step behind the beat. I don't like any of this. Uso is the new Intercontinental Champion, and Braun Breaker only held the title for about 2 months. I know he has a long way to go, and I'm sure they have plans for him, but everyone else seemed to love the finish, while I did not share their enthusiasm. Jey Uso is a significant example of modern WWE booking. He is that over. If he hadn't been involved in the Bloodline storyline, his work, look, and promos might come off as just filler, like R-Truth's comedic segments. There's always a person who gets over with the audience, even if their work doesn't quite match it, much like the Ultimate Warrior. I don't understand why they needed to beat Braun at that point. I wish they had given Jey another significant win without taking the title from Braun. Now, thinking about it, the Intercontinental title has transitioned from Gunther to Braun Breaker, where we could count on incredible matches with Gunther and solid performances from Braun. Now we have the title with Jey Uso. Sami Zayn is a great worker as well, but when it comes to the newer talent, we have Gunther, who can really go, Braun, who can also deliver, and then there's Jey. However, I don't think we'll be looking forward to those matches. Speaking about a possible Hall of Fame induction and reunion with her former Lay Cool partner, Michelle McCool, former WWE star Layla, noted on They Made Their Way to the Ring podcast. Of course, a WWE Hall of Fame induction would be a stamp of approval, I guess, of my career, if my career was significant in WWE, but I'm okay, and I'm trying to say this in a very politically correct way because I don't want to offend anybody. I'm okay if I don't get inducted into the Hall of Fame because I feel like there are many many wrestlers that should be in that haven't been, and if that wasn't for me, I totally understand that. I'm okay with walking away saying I had a great WWE career. I was able to see everything I saw, have the life experience that I've had, and I'm okay with it if that makes sense. Of course, I would love it. I would love to be inducted with Michelle McCool. I really would, because I felt like that was the most significant and highest point of my WWE career. I would love for Layla to be inducted, but if it doesn't happen, I'm okay with that. And thank you to everybody who has ever supported me, anybody who was ever a fan, anything like that. Having to job every day, it's okay. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. It's whether you get a reaction or not. If I don't get a reaction, you know what I mean? I understand, but I'm just grateful. I am content with how things went. I've made peace with it, and who knows what the future holds? Who knows? You never know. I would love, actually, I've been thinking about it a lot. I've been debating. I actually feel like I would like to do a Layla reunion, even if it's just for a one night. I told you I really was done, and I was like, no, but I feel like Michelle and I owe it to each other, and I feel like we owe it to the Layla fans who would like to just see us one more time if it's possible. But I think I would, and I would love to be in the WWE 2K game. Of course. I think it would be great. It would be flawless. Recalling the incident between CM Punk and Jack Perry from AEW All In 2023, AEW's Darby Allin said this to the New York Post: "If anybody's benefited from the incident that happened last year at All In, it's Jack Perry, because now what he is, I feel like, is kind of where he always needed to be. Honestly, it sounds crazy, but it's awesome. Because when he was Jungle Boy, I felt like it was just too hokey and had a shelf life, if that makes sense. Like, there was a glass ceiling with Jungle Boy, and then when he first became a bad guy, Hollywood Jack, or whatever the hell he was, it just wasn't believable. Nothing he was doing was believable. It felt like a horrible made-for-TV Lifetime movie network character." Allin also said this regarding a new television deal for AEW programming: "Everybody literally needs to work harder. Once we get a new TV deal, it's not time to be like, oh yeah, let's celebrate, like, which is fine. I think when someone makes a lot of money, they almost feel like they don't have to work. They feel like people have the best work ethic when they have nothing. They're broke. They're like living paycheck to paycheck. That's the work ethic we need to have at all times." Speaking about WWE's reduction of live events and what could be revived in the process, former WCW President Eric Bischoff noted on his 83 Weeks podcast, "I could really see WWE creating more content in the absence of running fewer live shows. I think it's a good possibility. It makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, if you go back and look at WWE Films, I remember when that was launched. I don't remember the gentleman's name who was initially the head of WWE Films, but I had a couple of meetings with him, and I wasn't in WWE at that time. That was before 2019, sometime after. I was there as a talent, so let's say around 2007 or 2008. I had a couple of meetings in LA with that gentleman, and more than anything, I just wanted to hear as much as they were willing to share about what the plans were and where they thought that initiative was ultimately going to go. Honestly, I think this is one of the times Vince McMahon's timing, which was usually unbelievably canny, was off. He very rarely didn't take advantage of an opportunity within a certain time period, but in this case, I think the WWE Films initiative was a little too far ahead of its time because there weren't the streaming opportunities that there are today. I think if WWE Films were to launch now or relaunch focused on streaming capabilities, I could see that division being resurrected. I really could. They're so good at content, and so much of the cost in creating content, especially scripted, is in talent, and they have the talents, a wealth of talent that could do a good job, maybe even a great job in scripted content. I could see them resurrecting WWE Films or a version of it again because the opportunities today are far greater than when WWE Films was originally launched. Sharing his experience after attending an NXT show, 2024 Paris Olympian boxer Delicious Ori said this in a video on Instagram.
Yes, people, we are here, Orlando, Florida. Just to give you an update on what's going on. I've been invited by WWE to potentially get on the WWE NXT program. Let's see what happens. You never know. Huge potential in the future to get on the WWE roster. We're out here. It was a pretty interesting night. I got to see a lot of the WWE superstars, and as well, throughout this week, I'll be doing some of the wrestling as well, participating, having a bit of fun. So let's see what happens.
Ori then spoke with Daily Star about his talks with WWE. A message from WWE Recruit was certainly something to lift my mood after the Olympics. I thought at first that it could be a fake account, but then I looked into it with my manager, Sean O'Toole, and we realized it was the real thing. Like any kid, I got into wrestling when I was younger. I started watching it when I moved to the UK. I used to watch the likes of John Cena, The Undertaker, while there was the odd appearance from the older legends like Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels. Me and my friends would do the moves, the usual putting the sofa cushions down for a bit of protection. It's crazy to meet him, Shawn Michaels. I also got to meet Booker T, who is another wrestling legend as he works as a commentator for NXT. It's something we could think about, the idea of joining WWE. I want to be an inspiration for people. I know wrestling would increase my profile so much, and I want to be a global star. That's the aim, to be known all over the world. Boxing is still something I believe I can be a huge success in. Bringing up the possibility of former WWE star Enzo Amore making his way to AEW, Jim Ross had this to say on his Grilling JR podcast. Yeah, of course, I think so. Why not? Like I said earlier, it's the same concept. You don't turn your back on talented people if they want to come and contribute to your company. And, again, Enzo brings a little baggage, but he's colorful, he's talented, and the upside, he's not going to be a big investment to get on the roster, but over the long haul, he can certainly earn a lot of money. He's got that look which is very unique. He's talented as hell. He played a little college football. He's an athlete and a good athlete, so why not give him a shot? You never know what's going to hit. And look at this. Put that slide back up there. Look at how he's outfitted himself. I think that's important to realize. He's thinking, he's trying to reinvent and be different. Discussing the limitations that are put on her storyline with Rhea Ripley that also involves Dominic Mysterio, WWE Women's World Champion Liv Morgan told the New York Post, "We are a PG product at the end of the day, so the fact that we've been able to tell these stories and push boundaries a little bit more than we've done in the past couple of years has been exciting for fans. It's also exciting as a performer to dive into the art form and the storytelling that we're doing." Giving his perspective on pro wrestlers that blame Vince McMahon for personal choices, WWE Hall of Famer Rob Van Dam noted on his One of a Kind podcast, "I never understand that. Why in the world would I ever blame Vince McMahon for me taking pain pills or me getting concussions or for doing steroids or working while I'm hurt? Why in the world would I blame him? I can't imagine any reason except a lie if I were to put that on Vince and say it was his fault." Now, other people have had different experiences. I've heard some of the boys complain that they were forced to keep working when they were hurt. I never bothered telling them I was hurt. It was all on me if I was hurt, which I wasn't because I could still work. When Vince slapped the notebook out of that guy's hand and the guy said, "How can you say none of these are your responsibility? They wrestled for you." What does that mean? I agree with Vince on that. I'm not saying he should have smacked the book out of the guy's hand. He was definitely trying to intimidate him, moving closer and closer to bully him. But I agree with how ridiculous the question is. How do you take responsibility for all these wrestlers who died just because they used to wrestle for you? What if a lot of them went to my 3rd grade Spanish class unless they got hurt on the job? Like Owen, that's different. Owen got hurt on the job and people can link that directly to WWE's production. But that's so different than someone who wrestled there, did Somas, Norcos, Vicodin, Valium, and all that way before they ever met Vince McMahon and kept doing it while they were there. And now it's Vince's fault? No, I can't get behind that. It appears a family member of the bloodline has gone missing, as Ringside News wrote that former MLW heavyweight champion Jacob Fatu signed with WWE earlier this year and has been on a tear since then. He also has his own brothers who were in the business, and that includes Journey Fatu. However, it appears that Journey Fatu has gone missing. Journey Fatu is Jacob Fatu's brother and Rikishi's nephew, and he has competed in various promotions all over the world, including MLW, West Coast Pro Wrestling, and many other promotions. Bloodline family member Juicy Finau, who has worked with Journey, took to Twitter and announced that Journey Fatu had gone missing and expressed concern for him. He shared a message saying he doesn't know where Journey is and misses him. He asked anyone who might see Journey Fatu to contact him as soon as possible. Finau also encouraged people to use the hashtag #WhereIsJuicy if they spot him. I don't know where you are, brother. Miss you, Uso. Please, if you see our Uso, Journey Fatu, please contact me ASAP. Please use the following hashtag if you see him around. Journey Fatu last competed during the West Coast Pro Friday the 13th event on September 13th. In some unfortunate news, a man that made his name in pro wrestling has passed away, with Ringside News noting that it is with great sadness that we report the passing of Jersey Joe Wilczak, a beloved figure known for his time in ECW and Ring of Honor. Late on Saturday evening, Mike Johnson of PW Insider confirmed that the former Atlas security member had passed away after a long battle with lung cancer. Wilczak was a well-known figure in the professional wrestling world, particularly for his work behind the scenes. He was a prominent member of Atlas Security, a group that provided protection and security for wrestling promotions. Wilczak's work with Atlas Security saw him involved with iconic promotions like ECW and ROH. Throughout the late 1990s and early 2000s, Wilczak played a crucial role in ensuring the safety of wrestlers and fans during ECW's notoriously rowdy events. His presence in the ring and at ringside was often understated but vital, as ECW shows were known for their intense and sometimes unpredictable nature. After ECW's closure, Wilczak continued his work in Ring of Honor, another promotion known for its passionate fan base and high-energy events. He became a trusted figure within the industry, known for his professionalism and dedication. Wilczak's family has opened his Facebook page for those wishing to send their condolences and memories. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.